There have been a record number of home buyers taking advantage of bargain basement prices, but there are still countless fence sitters waiting for prices to fall even further. These buyers may be surprised to learn that while they were waiting for prices to fall, interest rates were on the rise, thus making their purchase less affordable. So here to discuss this situation with us is Wink's real estate contributor, Denny Grimes with Denny Grimes and Company. Denny, thanks for coming in this morning.
Good morning.
So everybody knows that high interest rates are bad and lower interest rates are good, but how can it truly affect the home buyer?
Well, first of all, a home buyer's focus, particularly the non-cash buyer. The cash buyers can wait and do whatever they want, but for the non-cash buyers, they need to realize that falling prices should not be their only focus.
Right.
They have to focus on what's called interest rate risk. Because what good is if they find the best deal in the world and they can't afford the monthly payment?
Exactly. And you were telling me the analogy of sitting on the fence right now. You're saying you shouldn't be looking just in that one direction at the price.
Right. So the fence sitter should at least straddle it because they're going to get ready to hop into the market and they're going to be blindsided by rising interest rates. And as interest rates rise, buyers' purchasing power decreases. Now, that's not rocket science, but most buyers haven't taken the time to actually put the numbers down to see how dramatic that effect can be.
So you have an example for us, so explain this to us.
Okay, let's assume that a home buyer can afford a $1,600 a month payment. And at 5%, that means they could borrow roughly $300,000. Now, if the interest rate increases a half a point, they only can borrow $285,000.
Right.
And if it goes from 5 to 6%, they can only borrow $270,000.
Right.
So what that means is if the prices don't fall and the interest rates increase 1 percentage point, their buying power has been decreased by 10%.
That's a huge difference when you take a look at that graph. Now, you were telling me interest rates fluctuate daily. You know, it's something that you really have to keep up with, but are there people right now thinking, oh, the interest rates are going to remain low, I don't have to worry about it?
Well, I think a lot of consumers have been lulled into a false sense of security because we've had low interest rates for some time now. In fact, this is one of the only corrections that I can recall that has had low prices and low rates.
Right.
Generally, a recession has high interest rates, but those rates are being held down artificially. And so while they're waiting for prices to fall further, there's a better chance that rates are going to go up before the prices fall. And particularly if they're looking in the price range $300,000 and less. In fact, if anyone out there that's in the market for a home under $300,000 better step in now, because we've seen a rise in the median since summer of last year. In fact, it's up 25%.
Right.
There's a better chance that rates are going to change before the prices fall further.
And really, is that, if they don't get in on this now and get off the fence right now, what is going to happen a year from now?
Well, they're going to find themselves, the worst situation for a buyer is rising prices and rising interest rates.
Right.
They've had falling prices and low interest rates, but it's going to turn, particularly in the low end, and they're going to find themselves being able to purchase less and less of a home.
Exactly. All right, Denny, thanks for making sense of all those numbers. You're watching Wink News Now this morning on 6 TV. We'll be right back with a check of your weather and traffic, plus today's top stories. Stay with us.